Hey guys, it's September 3rd, Tuesday. Just got back from the IFBB North Americans on Sunday night. I guess I didn't just get back, but I got back Sunday night. And just wanted to do a quick recap of the weekend and all the events and stuff, and my kind of feedback on what went down, and talk about my, my plans for the off season and my plans for 2014 competition season, because this was my last show for this year. It was my 4th show in 5 months. Basically been dieting since just after New Year, so like since January. And it's taking its toll on me, as I'm sure a lot of you who've been following along can tell. You don't really realize it until you've gone through all the steps and you start looking back and how you've progressed or regressed in my case. It hasn't been that bad, you know what I mean? Gotta win some, lose some. So first, for the North American recap, I left on Thursday morning, and right from the get-go, it was off to a bad start. I got about 3/4 way down to the airport, and something inside me said, "Hey, you check your license to see if you have your license on you." Sure as shit, I pull out my wallet as I'm driving, just about to get to the airport, and I was already kind of running a little bit late, and license was nowhere to be found. So I started scrambling, looking for it, pulled over, couldn't find it. Tried calling home to see if the license is there, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody. So basically turned around and started heading back because I had no ID on me. Make a long story short, got back to the house, couldn't find my ID. The only thing I had as far as an ID was concerned, or a government issued ID, was an expired passport. So I grabbed that, changed my flight to a 10 o'clock flight, which cost me another $220 on top of the $185 that I'd spent for the round trip ticket. So that was a real kick in the ass. And finally made it out to Pittsburgh, I think about 1:30. Had a stopover in Baltimore. Got down there, got settled in, got checked in, went in for the height-in, and because I forgot to bring my card that I got down at Team Universe that says I'm this height, so I had to re-height in. And as I go in, the guy says, "Oh, you're in F class." He says, "There's a lot of guys in F class. And you're probably one of the shorter guys at 6'1". F class is tall class. I'm usually E class at the national shows." So they put me in the F class, which is kind of rare. So here I am at 6'1", going against guys that are 6'3", 6'4", and there's some 6'5" guys too. So a lot of tall guys, which would usually work to my advantage, but in this case it really didn't. It turned out there was 37 guys in my class, and which is again rare. Usually, the taller the class, the less competitors, just because there's not a lot of guys that are very tall. But as fate would have it, this was just one of those shows where all the tall guys showed up. So yeah, we were the largest class in physique with 37 competitors, but that didn't bother me. It was fine. Got back to my hotel, started applying my coat, started applying my color. I didn't have anybody to do my back for me, so I was able to fortunately get someone to spray me. They sprayed me down at Liquid Sun Rays, so I basically had Pro-Tan on all my front of my body and most of my my legs and everything. But then they sprayed me Liquid Sun Rays on my back. It cost me $25 to do my back. So my back blended in actually pretty good, so I wasn't too worried about it. But what sucked was we were waiting around for so long to get on stage for prejudging. I got at the hotel, the host hotel, I think at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I didn't go on, I think, to almost 4. So yeah, lots of waiting around. It was hot as hell. As me, I sweat like it is. But then he put me in that environment where my metabolism was going 1,000 miles an hour, tons of people walking around, I get antsy, and it was just a battle to keep my color from running and streaking. I had to keep constantly applying. Then it started smudging and getting blotchy. It was just a big stressful thing for me. I really was having a hard time with it. It was really getting frustrating. And then I ran out of food at noon. All the sweet potatoes I had brought with me and everything, I ran out because I figured we'd be on stage by at least, at the latest, 1 o'clock, with the prejudging start at 9. And like I said, we didn't get on until 3:30, 4 o'clock. At that point, I'd lost my pump, flattened out considerably, despite all my efforts to keep full. Again, was sweating. And even when they brought us back to the holding area before we went on stage, a lady came out to touch us up, and I was just a blotchy mess. Looking at the stage photos, the color didn't look too bad, but I definitely was very, very flat. And 2 days off from the show, I was looking at myself in the mirror saying, "Dude, you're not lean enough. You just, despite all your efforts with the diet and your training, you're just not lean enough." Over the next 48 hours leading up to prejudging, I woke up prejudging morning and looked at the mirror and I was like, "Damn, okay, now I'm feeling confident." Actually, things tightened up great. I looked really, really tight in the midsection. Literally was up peeing every 25 to 30 minutes from when I went to bed Thursday night to when I got up, I think at about 5 o'clock, and continued to go to pee, to the water to come out of me all day. So I don't quite know, what happened. Again, it's a learning process. Again, I don't think I look bad, but I definitely was not at my best. And I think a lot of people mention to me that, Dave, your body just is too much. 4 shows in 5 months is just too much. And you know what? I agree. So I'm not one to make excuses. It's definitely going to be a learning experience. And definitely next year I'm just going to focus on national level shows, which would be the Junior USAs. Actually, I'll get to that. But kind of go back to the recap of the NAs. Got on stage. A lot of mixed information is sent to the competitors. Typically, you're supposed to do front pose, it's quarter turns, front pose, side pose, back pose, another side pose, another front pose, and you finish. We're told, okay, front and back pose only, and that's what I do. I follow the rules, But there's guys getting up there doing front, side, back, and whatnot. So I don't want to piss the judges off. I don't want to be that guy that gets yelled at on stage. So I get out there and I do my front pose, I do my back pose, come back and do a front pose, and I walk off and I wave. And I picked the wrong front pose to start off with. It looked like shit, let's be honest. I looked at it and I was like, it's not a pose I typically do. Didn't hit it right, and of course the picture showed it. I looked awful in that first pose. It was a front hand on hip, wide, flare the lats. I only flared one lat wasn't flared, so I threw off my symmetry. Looked like I was leaning back a little bit. It just didn't look right. Didn't look good at all. My back pose was great. Back looked really good. And then when I turned around to do my final front pose, it looked pretty good as well. It wasn't my best, but it looked pretty good. So posing is going to be one thing I'm definitely going to be really focusing on in the off season and then leading up to my next show, because I think I'm cheating myself by not really spending the time posing as I should. Because some guys do a really good job up there, and I think I transition pretty well. But I got to find those poses that I can hit that make me look the best on stage. And even when I pull off the side of the stage and I'm standing there, these little details have to be worked on. Now, in terms of off-season plans, I still haven't finished up North American. So, long story short, 37 guys. I placed 21st, which is not awful, but it's I beat some pretty good guys. But I think there's some guys that beat me that shouldn't have, despite what I just discussed. So, you know what? I can't cry over spilled milk. I just kind of learn from it and move on. Friday between prejudging and the final, I went and shot with Eric Battershell. Had a great time, a lot of fun. I already saw one of the shots. Looks really good. And I can't wait to see the rest of them. And then I can take some of the shots and get them to Mike Lyons over at Silver so I can start working. Hopefully getting some work, get some castings, and start making some money with those guys and making some money for those guys so that they love me. Let's see, Friday night final went, nothing too big to worry about that. Just, it was night final, you walk on stage, you call your name, and that's the end of it. And then after I walked, I just basically took off because I wanted to eat. I was starving. My throat was kind of bothering me. I actually kind of got a real sore throat Friday night, was not feeling well. And then, of course, Saturday I spent a lot of time down at the bodybuilding show, meeting people, passing out business cards, watching some of the show, and hopefully made some good contacts, and hopefully built some relationships that'll help me going forward in the industry. That's pretty much it. Sunday, I went down to Heinz Field, and they had a barbecue fest down there, and enjoyed a bunch of the food. Basically, just walk around and eat food everywhere. I mean, I was eating all this food that I typically don't eat just because I could eat it. It was good, barbecue ribs and brisket and all kinds of good stuff. And then I finally got home Sunday night, about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and went to bed. As far as plans going off season, like I said, I'm done this year. No more competing for 2013. It's in the books. Going to be focusing on just improving overall. Guys at the national level are really getting big. I mean, I tend to be one of the bigger guys, but there are some dudes that made me feel small. I'm not sure what I weighed on stage this year because I didn't have access to a scale. But some of the guys are just getting really, really big. And if you look at some of the top pros, the physiques that they're favoring are bigger guys. Sadiq Hadzovic, guys like Alex Carnero, Steve Cook, and then of course Mike Anderson, creates the illusion of being really big. He really isn't big, but he looks, with his muscle lines, kind of like a Flex Wheeler. He looks a lot bigger than he actually is. But he has a really awesome aesthetic physique. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to talk to Mike. I saw him. He was heading in a direction. I was headed another direction. I figured I'd catch up with him another time. and unfortunately I didn't see him after that. So I'll catch him at some point in the future. But again, getting back to my off-season plans, I'm going to be doing cardio at least 3 times a week. I'm not going to get over 10% body fat in the off-season because if I'm working for silver, I want to be able to be I want to be photo shoot ready within a week or 2, or on the drop of a dime. I want to be able to make sure I can take a photo at any time and not feel conscious about it. Got to stay in good shape. But I am going to be trying to improve and try to pack on at least a couple more pounds of lean muscle so that when I do compete next year, I can be super shredded, super conditioned, and be a nice V-taper, wide shoulders, continue to improve my lower back area, continue to improve my width in my shoulder area, my chest thickness as well. And of course, I'm training my legs. Even though you don't see them, I train my legs off. I train the hell out of them. So if they ever do change from board shorts to shorter shorts, I'll be prepared. My legs will be where they need to be. Then 2014, I'm eyeing Junior USA's and Junior Nationals, so South Carolina, Chicago. I haven't done those shows. I'm hoping that the change of scenery and the change of national panel of judges will work to my advantage because I've done the Team Universe twice now and I've done the North American twice now, and I thought this would be a step forward, and it was actually 2 steps back. I had my 2 best placings, my 2 worst placings this year. I got a first place in overall, a first place, and then I got a 16th and basically a DNP, did not place, which is 17th, which was at the North American. So it's been a roller coaster, physically and emotionally this year, and not just with competing, but with things outside of my competition world, with family and stuff like that. So it's been tough, but again, I can't make excuses, and I've been here to make it to the IFBB Pro ranks. That's my goal, and continue to grow my consulting business, and hopefully make a name for myself. So, in closing, I'll be doing some updates. I'll be probably doing some more training videos now that we're getting to the off season. I want to get my strength back up because I did lose a lot of strength over these last couple preps. Obviously, I want to keep healthy. I'm going to be on a nice, clean maintenance, a bit of a surplus maintenance calories diet, but right now what I'm doing is I'm reverse dieting and getting my calories back up to where they need to be. I pigged out last couple days. I shot up to about 216 pounds. So I've gained a lot of water weight. I'm very watery right now, if you can't tell. But that stuff will be gone, by the weekend, because once I start, the water kind of regulates itself and gets out. I'll be fine. And this week's going to take it really easily. Just going to be doing some light cardio and maybe some light training, so that come next one day I can hit it hard. So again, guys, thank you all for the support, and it's been a crazy 2013 competition season. I wish all the competitors who are going to be competing out in Nationals in November best of luck. And of course, you guys, if you ever have questions or anything, hit me up on Facebook. I'd be more than happy to discuss or answer questions, whatever. And of course, if you guys are looking for contest prep or diet and training, my Rip to Shreds business, we do, I cover all that stuff. So we'd love to work with people who are motivated to better themselves. So please check us out on Facebook, Rip to Shreds Physiques, and of course all the information is down at the bottom of YouTube. Alright, we'll check with you guys in the near future. Until then, train hard, and like I said, follow your dreams.